What's up, guys? Thanks for joining me today. This is gonna be a fun one because not only do I have a new blade, but I have a brand new steel I've never tested and used before. But before we head to the blade boot camp and thump on it, let's go ahead and hit the trail and see what it can do in the great outdoors. Love that. Wow. Well, we weren't supposed to get snow till tomorrow, but it's coming in good. Gonna suit up and head on out of here before it gets any worse.
Whew. Well, we're gonna use this knife to get a fire going because it's chilly out here as we begin to test it, but taking it on that backcountry adventure is exactly where this American Tomahawk company manufactured Rifleman belongs. And one of the many reasons, not just in that very legacy-based profile that harkens back to the backwoods of America, and this design, the style, has been used on the continent for centuries, but it's so lightweight for its size. It's 6.4 ounces for the blade itself, a few more with the sheath, but you're getting a 5-inch overall cutting edge, but it's gonna be 5/32 of an inch thick. So it's quick, it's nimble, it's light, it's fast, making it very easy to carry on your hip when you are trekking miles and miles, but you're getting a lot of reach with the blade. So we're gonna see how that plays into a very familiar and iconic profile and style to us, but with very interesting and unique materials being chosen to build out the tool. This is using aeb-l steel, which I have never used before here on the channel. It is a true stainless, so we're gonna see how that stainless steel and what are its properties and limitations in a knife design like this, but also the rich light handle material. I've never had that type of material on a handle before, so we'll discuss properties, capabilities, how does that feel and hold up, and just what is that? So I always love exploring and discovering new things together with you guys. So let's dive on in and see what this tool is capable of.
But guys, I want to take a quick time out to tell you about today's sponsor, which is Zoleo Satellite Communication Devices.
Now, you outdoor adventurers know that being able to communicate with the outside world, with your loved ones, and in an emergency situation, be able to reach out to first responders is vital. And with Zoleo's dedicated SOS button, engaging with the Iridium satellite network makes it super easy to reach out to first responders. But I want to hone in on their SMS features that stand out compared to others in the industry.
You know, there's no service here, just to give you a quick example. Hopefully you guys can see that right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and send a message here. Just let her know I've arrived and that we're gonna start testing any minute now. Hope you're doing well, love you, arrived at the spot. I'm gonna start testing now, period. So we'll give it a minute or two and we'll see how long. It's 10:24 right now when I sent it. We'll see how long it takes to get it back.
And as I'm waiting for that message to come back, what I like is when you're inside the Zoleo app, you can use up to 900 plus characters to give much more detailed communication back and forth when necessary, which means you're gonna have a better overall communication experience with the person that you're messaging.
All right, I love this thing. So it is now 10:26, so it's been 2 minutes and just got one back here. Love you, babe. Doing great. And guys, that's just one attribute of what Zoleo and their satellite communicator offers. So I do invite you to go check out the link in the description box below, as well as my exclusive promo code, which will waive the $40 activation fee. You can go check out all that they have to offer, all the different levels of subscription, all the different things that this has and why I take it with me every time I go out.
All right, well, it's cold out here. I can barely feel my fingers, so we are gonna get that fire going ASAP. Now, this I would not put in the survival knife category just because of how lightweight it is, even though the blade length is there. And that's what's awesome, is that 5 inches is gonna allow us to span pretty good size logs. We're gonna see what the saber grind with that 5/32 of an inch thick can do to split. Now, normally you would have like a hatchet or a tomahawk with you with this size of knife. And if you're not familiar with American Tomahawk Company, they are owned by RMJ Tactical. And so that's who's manufacturing these tools. So pretty sweet. I've tested some of their Tomahawks in the past and they are amazing. Now, let's go ahead and get to it here. Splitting up. This is about a 3-inch piece of wood. Great. No real issues there. Yeah, not binding up at all. And guys, when I can get a blade that is going to give me 5 inches of reach, but is going to be, you know, super light and quick in the hand, which this is, as long as you don't lose the control because of that longer blade, I mean, that is like, I mean, it's just a recipe for excellence. So no problem breaking this stuff down. All right, let's get to work here. Get some fuzz sticks going since I don't know when I started saying fuzz sticks over feather sticks. Feather sticks going. Help get this fire after we've batoned. And let's talk about this aeb-l steel. Now it's a non-powder stainless. It's actually been around for quite a while. It's in the family of the Sandviks. It's very similar to Sandvik 13C26, but has a lot different, has several different properties apparently. From my understanding, I watched tons of videos about it in preparation for this video and just using this steel since we've never used it before. And what you're gonna find is on an edge retention, it's gonna be very similar to 154 CM in the stainless arena, and then like very similar to good D2, like, you know, CPM D2 in the more semi-stainless arena. And this does have a lot of carbon in it, even though it is a true stainless steel blade. So, I mean, that's excellent. That is nothing to balk at. Look it up. Man, look at that. That edge geometry and that high saber grind with that thinner blade. It's just doing yeoman's work for fire preparation. And apparently it can take a finer edge than 01, but is as easy to resharpen as 01 and other tool steels in that family. So that's pretty cool, because stainless oftentimes, because of the chromium making the carbides harder, means that you have to spend a lot more time resharpening, but this tends to be an easier to resharpen blade. And I was actually on William Collins' channel, a custom knife maker who uses this steel. He shared that he found that leaving this unstropped or unpolished, this type of steel, tends to make the edge bite better. And so leaving it just ever so slightly toothy and not stropping it is his recommendation. It's just so interesting. So it's just this very unique animal. Look at this, guys. Do you see these curls? Look at those gorgeous curls, man, that this thing is doing. So I love that. And always remember, draw your knife. This is not a chisel. Your knife is not supposed to be a chisel. And I'm not always perfect at that. Sometimes I get lazy, or I'm, you know, just trying to crank out as many as I can. But you're supposed to be drawing, you know, not just back and forth in the exact same direction. So we are going to test lateral strength as well. All right, here we go. The palette of doom and the dreaded lateral test. Okay, you can see there, hopefully. We definitely got some bend, some flex, which is what you want. So I'm just cranking on that. Nice, good and straight there. We got our stabbing, good penetration right there, locked into place. Excellent. Great. Very, very good. Bing! I mean, that was getting in there about that deep. So pleased with that strength and penetration. So that's what you can kind of expect from this steel. Nothing to balk at for sure. And I just have to say, the thinness of the blade at 5/32 was an excellent choice from everything that I'm seeing. I love the grind, and the edge geometry on this is really well done, making it very easy to not only make those feather sticks, but then just do, you know, shaping of wood however you would want. for different notches, spear points, or whatever else you're doing to shape and carve with wood and other material, cordage, going through leather. I mean, whatever it is, this, man, I really like this. I'm really liking this a lot. So for the blade, its profile, it's just style and shape, but just the geometry, the edge, the grind, all of that is working in unison to be that excellent cutting tool. Since the knife does not have a 90-degree spine, which is not a deal breaker for me for an outdoor knife, I mean, it's nice, but it's by no means like, oh, well, I'm not carrying it. I'm just gonna use my tinder wick. This little Uber layman setup here. There we go. Get this fire going. Nice. So building that fire got me hungry, so I figured we'd slice up an apple and toast it over the fire. 530 seconds is pretty thin. It is a saber grind, but look at that. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that for a saber grind to be able to do food prep, yeah. And I think it's just literally just the thinness of the blade. A little bit of, play. Obviously meat and things like that. It's just hard fruit and vegetables. Let me do a little bit, but that's better than most saber grinds I've messed around with. Now that the apples are sliced, let's get our little skewer going here. And that will lead us right into handle ergonomics. So we got a big full handle back here. So wide in the back, tapering down, nice deep guard, little hit of jimping right there, not sharp or aggressive, but it is right where your thumb wants to be. If you're doing like a push cut, if you're doing a hammer cut, you're obvious, or hammer grip, you're not going to come in contact with that. It helps a little bit with traction, doesn't hurt in any way, really deep. So if you are doing, a stabbing or a piercing, you're definitely not going to come up and slide up on the blade. Now the handle scales don't go all the way, so you are going to be just impacting that metal. So stabbing, again, you're going to be locked in, but you are just going to be right there impacting that metal. I wouldn't say this is per se a tactical knife, though we could definitely put it into that roll for sure, and it would keep you locked into place. 3 screws, nice and contoured, large lanyard hole. I'm not even going to throw one on here because of the way the handle is designed. I can get little wrist flicks in, and I can shape wood if I have to, which is really cool. I really like that aspect to it, and you don't even need a lanyard on this, really on the style of handle, unless you want to. Fills out my hand with plenty of real estate out that back end, so I don't feel like I'm cramped up on the handle at all. If I back up all the way, you can see how much extra up to that guard there is. Obviously a tapering neck, so those of you who don't like thin necks, you won't like this knife. I am coming to realize how these lock you into place, particularly like in this reverse grip right here. It is amazing. It like locks me up in a way I normally don't feel, like right there, and gives me that control. Now, when I was using gloves, I did have some difficulty grabbing that neck and really getting the grip that I wanted to. It is a better bare-handed knife with my size hands in that capacity. Good ribbing on the handle, again, contoured, not blocky, on that rich light. So I was like, what the heck is rich light? It's resin impregnated paper. So it feels like a mixture of G10 and micarta, so that's really interesting. The ribbing is excellent. I don't have any issues with it. Feels great. It's tactile. So that is what it is. I'm not blown away by it, and I'm not by any means against it. It's just an interesting choice for this type of knife. But if you're going to be sitting around a campsite doing woodworking, the grip just feels excellent. I just feel like it feels like I'm in a choil, but I'm not in a choil. And it's not too small. I was concerned when I saw the profile and I got it in hand. I was like, man, is this neck going to be too tiny and just not comfortable to use? But I'm loving this. So I'm gonna fashion a little notch here to rest my apple slicer, what do we want to call it? Skewer. So I'm just gonna kind of, just so it doesn't roll off and, you know, I lose all my apples in the fire. That'd be sad. Good lateral strength from everything I'm seeing. Gives me a lot to work with. I can really like get in there, pry. There we go, see? Perfect. There we go, nice. Oh yeah. I'm liking that. Perfect, right over those coals, baby. Sweet. Okay, I might have gotten a little distracted there for a second, but hopefully it's not super ashy. Yeah, dude. A little bit ashy on just that burnt part. In fact, you know what I'm gonna do with this last piece here? I'm just gonna kind of, yeah, look at that, nice. Just fillet off the burnt ashy piece. There we go. Yeah, man. Warming me up. Tastes good. Temperature just keeps dropping, but we gotta touch on this sheath. This sheath is really, really cool. Now, it's leather. You got a little eyelet down here. If you wanted to thigh lash it, I don't think there's any need for that. Single run of stitching, but well stitched. Now, what you may notice is we got Phillips head screws right there, because you can either just completely take off this attachment if you want, depending on how wide a blade tech lock, or if you wanted to do 2 molly locks, you could technically do that and screw those on, or swap the belt attachment. So that's pretty cool. Secondary eyelet up here that you could do different lashing options with as well. I would say probably 2.5 inches of belt that you could easily get through there, no problem. Just rides so nicely. The leather is, as you can see here, molding really quickly to my belt. It's a little thinner probably than I would prefer. It would be nice to have just a little bit denser leather, but holds the knife well into place. It's flush with your hip. It was excellent to go hiking with. Really contours easily to the rest of the body, so I really like that a lot. And again, being able to be ambidextrous for a leather sheath is just super cool in that regard. Now let's go ahead and discuss pricing and competitive options. This is currently going for about $235. I will have links in the description box below, not only to this blade, but the competitive options I'm about to run in. So if this model or designs that I'm showing you, or just purchases in general, always appreciate when you use those hyperlinks that I offer to you guys below. Now I appreciate American Tomahawk Company sending me a sample so I could test it out for us, see what it can do, if there are any limitations, to help you guys better determine for yourself if this is the right tool for you. Now, I actually don't have too many stainless blades like this. 2 that come to mind that are high carbon on the cheaper side. I do have here the Becker BK18 with a very similar kind of handle style, similar thickness in the handle. So if you're familiar with that, again, that's going to be a very similar kind of feel and grip that you're going to get on the Rifleman. A high saber grind, harpoon shaped blade in 1095. So obviously the Rifleman's edge retention is going to be better than what 1095 will give you. Polymer sheath, and that one's going to go base model about 100, and then if you get micarta like I have, you're looking at like 130 to 140 for a model like this. Then I have a recently reviewed Case and Winkler Skinner. Very similar kind of profile, style. This is going to be a high carbon ADCR V2 steel, definitely a unique steel as well. And you can get that with G10 and wood. This is going to be like 320 to like 345. So definitely a similar profile, but definitely on the higher end, more expensive than what you're going to pay for the Rifleman. Well, guys, thanks for riding shotgun with me today as we've used the Rifleman. Really cool design. If you like the profile and you want a stainless steel, lightweight, large camp knife,
this is an excellent option to be paired, you know, with a tomahawk and a saw, or a hatchet and a saw, and go explore. Have adventures. This will get a lot done in that aeb-l steel. I want to get more blades in it because it's just such a unique animal and performs in such a unique way that's really cool and kind of hard to find in a stainless steel. So appreciate you guys so much. Leave your thoughts, leave your comments on not only that type of steel, the profile, and I always look forward to seeing what you guys think. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Check out the other video, and until next time, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.